Bridges on the other side. And these trees down on the left here got that fruit on that sea grape. You also see that in Florida. And it's very, very edible. Around about another 6 weeks time. It just got a little bit larger than that. Dark purple. And people make jelly and jam. Or they just eat it right off the tree, right? These flowers you see growing along is called a spider lily. And they're just coming into season. Years ago, if one said to you, why does a spider cross the street? More than likely you would have answered would have been to get to the other side. Now this is modern times, so if that question was put to you today, why does a spider cross the street? What would be your answer? That's to get to his website. I tell you, this is modern times. These people you see selling stuff, they have to have a license for that. At the moment, there's a lot of construction going on this island. That block we've been using it. We make that block here. Prior to that, we were using the limestone here. Bermuda is roughly 259 feet above sea level. There's a school here on the right. Right now, children are on a summer break. They go back the week after Labor Day. And all children's uniforms to school, whether it's private or public. And there are no universities here. There's only one college on this island. So we have to recruit teachers here, and mostly out of Canada or United States. You might find one now from the Caribbean, but mostly out of Canada, United States. This tomato's going in the right. Tomato sell for $1 a pound. It's almost like $1 a tomato, right? So we would have just finished harvesting corn here. In your country, corn is July, August, ours is May and June. So the price per corn, you want to listen to this very carefully, was a buck in there. You get that?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You got that?
Got it.
Condos on the left there. Now that you can buy into a condo, and it'll start around 500,000, something in there. So you see the sign on the left that says Tribe Road number 3. It's the St. Louis Street I'm going to go down. Today we're saying parishes, but at the beginning, the British divided this island up into different tribes. So Tribe Road was just a footpath from north to south. And the slaves back then had to get permission to go from tribe to tribe. They were indentured servants. The law of the land was, after 7 years, you had to let these slaves go because they worked for the freedom. Today we say parishes. Just like you say a county or province. So 7 years after I was married, I looked at this young lady and said, listen, I've done my 7 years and I'm free to go. She says, you better go to the next paragraph. So the slave is still pulling the cart. So Bermuda was very segregated years ago, even in the churches. There's another one of these water catchers here. I just picked up the South Road. You see this car comes with a flag on it there? Mm-hmm. You may notice some more cars. Now that one was red and blue. Mm-hmm. And some of them may be blue and blue. Some may be just ribbon red and blue and blue and blue. That represents the colors of the teams that's playing this match next week, Thursday, Friday.
Gotcha.
This is a hotel down the right, so that's the beach. And that hotel has 3 beaches.
That's gorgeous.
And this stuff growing on the right here, a lot of people call it deal. It's fennel. Italians use like that for cooking. Fennel. See, the cedar trees has these berries on them, but the early settlers ate for food. And as time went on, they made cedarberry beer and cedarberry wine. But the residents drank a lot of that on the 5th of November. 5th of November is known as Guy Fawkes Day or Guy Fawkes Night. Many, many years ago in the UK, there was a gentleman by the name of Guy Fawkes trying to blow up the House of Parliament. So all the colonists celebrated something on the 5th of November. So they would have drank cedarberry beer or cedarberry wine. They ate sweet potato pudding, and they made a big bonfire and little firecrackers on the 5th of November. Hotel.
It's a big one.
Yeah, it opened in 1958. There's a group of those Sonesta hotels. They call this one Sonesta Beach because the guy that owned it, his name's Sonneban. The wife named Asta, so he put the two together. Sonesta Beach. But imagine if the wife was named Abith, then he'd have called it Son or something. So this lighthouse up here is the only cast lighthouse in the world. It's an active lighthouse. It has a beam visible 40 miles out to sea. You got a good view to the cruise ship from up here. There's no elevator in the lighthouse. It's just steps. And if you want to go to the top of it, you have to purchase a ticket from the gift shop. And you're looking at roughly $2.50 for that ticket. There's also a little tea room up here, a little gift shop. So we're going to be up here at least 35 minutes. 35 to 40 minutes we're going to be up here. As you can see the cruise ship from right here. If you come walk around on this side, see the way right there? Like we may get a pass and showers. There's nothing to panic about. So you go through by where that guy's sitting down, stand up by that flagpole, and you go over.
Catherine! Catherine! What?
All right, Gibbs Hill Lighthouse. It was approximately 200 stairs. I lost count. Coming up, we're going down. We are not trying to count. I'm going to take the pictures going down, switching camera case to right shoulder, and grabbing handrail with left hand. Here we go, going down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23. Runs by a computer. Four, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 36, 37, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 'Hi there. 81, 82, 83, 84, 85. 86, 87. 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105. 6. 6, 7, 29, 146, 748. There, hey, it's 180 steps, I just counted them.
Okay, 185, right?
Oh, no, we're not counting, that's gonna make it wrong.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Count the way down. Okay, put your foot in.
Hi there.
So we put that black there. Yeah,
Queen's View.
The pastor said, well, how often do you see your queen? I said, madam, I see this lady every morning. I sleep with her. What you talking about? Yeah, that would be the Queen of England. And they would stay at the Governor's Palace. And the royalty comes from the UK here. No, we're gonna pick up some of the beach area. See, once you get in this area, you start to pick up the width. But as you get back toward the dockyard area, it starts to narrow down, so you're gonna go one way, right? Same thing going to St. George. After you go so far past the airport, you gotta come back out the same way. And there's a restaurant on that, Henry D. Yeah, we got a couple of passing showers today. And that large hotel you saw at the lighthouse, that was the Southampton Princess Hotel. It is the largest hotel on this island.
That was the one with the golf course.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
That was
par
gorgeous
three.
from up top, yeah.
Yeah. You know what the hotel down there the other day? They changed the rules on the golf course. They're now saying to the public and the guests, you have to have 2 pairs of slacks to play on that par 3. Right? This is what golf course is. And that's in case you got a hole in one. Yeah, I didn't run that by you again. Yellow slip.
2-person slacks.
2 pairs of slacks.
Oh, hole in, oh. Jesus.
They have their own beach, but they have to come down across the street here. They have a little jitney. See, the beach is over where the building is, and it goes under the street and goes down to their beach. Some of the guests walk
That's
down.
gorgeous.
This is the
Southampton Princess.
But you also got the downtown Princess.
This.
There's 2 Princess hotels. But built off to our right, the guests don't sleep down there. They only go down there for the beach facilities.
The Fairmont Southampton Princess. We got AARP rate.
So all on this area once I pass here would be Public Beach. And the main one is going to be this one I'm going to come to very shortly, this Horseshoe Bay Beach. So you two that's from Canada, you got a Horseshoe Bay out west, but it's all rocks, it's not beach, right? So this Horseshoe Bay Beach here,
Oh, look at
and
this.
it's the largest
Oh, how gorgeous.
public beach. It has all the facilities. One can rent an umbrella or a chair. There's a lifeguard on duty down. You want to get out?
No, that's fine. That's fine.
There's a lifeguard on duty down there. There's a little restaurant down there. Up ahead, there's a street that you go down, right? But when you leave the ship from you come down there by a bus. You're getting off on top of the hill. The bus doesn't go down there. Then you walk back up Cardiac Hill, right? But you could also come automobile.
$1 right here.
Right.
I heard.
Yeah,
I heard.
yeah, right.
$1.
And it'll go all the way down there, right? Now the water has no color. That's just an illusion. It's the depth of the coral in the water, the vegetation, reflection of the sky, and very little pollution that makes it look that color. Now, if you had come here like yesterday, when the sun was nice and bright, it was like a pretty blue, right? And there's no such thing as pink sand. It's little bits of pink coral mixing in the sand, not the sand itself. So that's just an illusion, right?
What's the weather supposed to be like tomorrow?
80 degrees.
Okay.
40 in the morning, 40 in the afternoon. Tomorrow they're predicting basically like it is today, with a few light showers. But you know, it could have a shower here, but not raining off the dockyard.
Yeah.
And on average, we get 55 inches of rain a year. And our beaches don't really get overcrowded. You know, we natives are too busy trying to make a dollar, right? And you know, you see it every day. Now, if you come along here, say if a hurricane was coming, all 1,000 miles, you can see the tide pulling the sand out, right? And once it simmers down, it just comes back. The tide just brings it back. Well, certain times you're like, here you can see the buttress connected onto the house. See right there? Like a pyramid sort of thing.
Yeah.
So if you came dockyard by bus, you would get over this boy's got the red shirt on. And going back, you can get back on the other side and go back, right? So the bicycle is, then you just walk down through there. All this is Southampton Parish. And then again, one was adventurous, got in Horseshoe Bay. You could walk all the way down there by staying right on the beach. This area is starting to see people. See these tents down there? Yeah, then the people is getting a head start for this
Next
week.
weekend.
So you're gonna see a lot of spots around the island on next week. You'll see that. On the left it says the Bermuda Regiment. That'll be like your National Guard. They get involved in ceremony, parades, opening Parliament, the Queen's birthday ceremony. There's also two beaches along in Chaplin Bay and Stonewall Bay. Queen's birthday ceremony comes up in June. They would do a 21-gun salute. And the governor will take the royal salute in place of the queen. A lot of people wonder why they don't do like a 22 or 20, make it an even number. You really can't do that because when the two nations fought, the Americans and the British, back in 1776, if you count those numeral numbers up, the 1, the 2 sevens, and the 6, and you end up exactly 21. So that's why it's only a 21-gun salute. So the president, a certain time of the year, takes a 21-gun salute. And that's how they arrive at 21. And also here, if you went in St. George, the spot you see in the water, that's the coral reef. And even here in the wintertime, we lose some of our beaches, little small beaches, because the tide just takes the sand out. And in summertime, it just brings it back, right? Many years ago, before we had modern technology like we got today, our forefathers had to come up with something to tell them that bad weather's coming. So what they would do, these dark spots you see in the water, they call them the boilers. So they would watch that, they watch the birds, and they took a shark out of the water when the moon is coming, cut the liver away from the shark and let the natural sunlight melt it down the oil, trapped it in a jar, sealed it, and hung it outside the house. Now, it was not 100% accurate, but it gave them some idea that something's not right. Today, shark oil is using a barometer, so they're on the right track, right? And if you eat a lot of shark meat out there, shark meat's a delicacy out there. Lots of some of you had a problem in your country, sharks coming in on the beach. We had the same problem here, same thing. Right? But rarely did they come beyond the reef. The last time I know a person be bit by a shark has been over 30 years ago. So they mostly feed at night, you know, they'll come in, follow the light. There's also, we got a bird here that migrates here in the spring called a lone-tailed bird, and it's not native to this island. It lives in this gaseous sea. And it's winter time, like when October comes in, you see that bird, the first offshore breeze you get, that bird will just go with the breeze. So it wants the wind to take it way back in that area, another 500 miles back in that area. And it just feeds out of the ocean. That's where it lives, right in the ocean. Right? Called a longtail. It's a bird that doesn't walk very much, it mostly flies, right? It's got very fragile legs. And it's a bird that doesn't build a nest. It just likes the coral reefs in, the rocks in, cliffs. And even during the day, it'll fly 100 miles of food for the young ones. It's called a longtail bird. There's a white bird, got a black piece on the peak. It's black and white. Speaking about black and white, the other day I stopped at one of these beaches, and these people were Caucasians, and they wanted me to get in the photograph. So I said to them, "What you trying to do? Get in the black and white?" And it took them a little while until they picked it up, right? When I'm we already have a colored film. I didn't mean that way. That's quite a shower there. Now you may also hear people talking about Elbow Beach. But Elbow Beach is private to the guests. Years ago, one could go in there and use the hotel beach. But for what we're paying per night, the hotels made it private to the guests, right? And there's a park over here to our right, Aspen's Park. You find a lot of people in the summertime coming to this island and get married. They want to have an outdoor ceremony. This is one that's supposed to be to our right. If you saw that movie, The Deep, a lot of it was filmed in this area here.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Was that the lighthouse we came from? Was that the lighthouse in,
Yeah.
In the movie?
That was in the movie, yeah.
One of the Bond movies talked about St. George's. Was that the St. George's here?
No, not here. Not James Bond.
But
Not here. Not I know.
Bahamas, maybe?
And just like your people talking about the Duke of Windsor. It was called over here one time. It wasn't there. It was in Nassau.
Okay.
So what do you have a bus pass for? Wait. Right, that's the interchange with ferry.
Yes.
So you can just stop anywhere and get on, right? Well, when I get in Hamel, I will show you where the bus leaves from.
Okay.
So you would want the bus that says St. George. If you go back to Dockyard, you want to got the bus says dockyard. Or the ferry, you want to see them, you want to get the dockyard ferry, right? So I'm cutting across to the northern side again, get on the harbor road. See, it didn't even rain this area. See that? See how dry it is?
Yeah.
We just have to catch that cloud coming across. Because mind you, sometimes it rains for a couple of days. But really, you get in the summertime. So all that rainwater comes here. We store that water. That's our main source of drinking water. You have to visualize a swimming pool in the yard, and you're going to build a house over it. That's where that water's going. It's coming off the roof. See, like this pipe coming down the corner?
Mm-hmm.
So it's going down that pipe and down into a holding tank. It's
Yeah.
pumped back to the house by a pressure system. And that water's not being filtered. Just goes down, it sits there. So dust is falling on the roof or bird dropping past the strainer. It's going down there, it's not being filtered. What don't kill you will cure you.
It's organic, it's fine.
When I was growing up, we used to put little guppers in the water to eat the algae or the bacteria. But as long as it's raining periodically, it's fine. Or if you got a dry spell like we're going through now, it's just a matter of you taking some Clorox that you put when you wash clothes and put it in the water. You just chlorinate it.
Yeah, yeah.
But it has a suction pipe, like that much off the bottom. So all that stuff, it's just making its way down the bottom. So you're just pulling water off the top. So if you run out of water, you're going to buy the salinized salt water or well water. Right? The ship that you're traveling on makes its water from the ocean. So there's these big hotels
yeah.
and the hospital. But the idea of that roof being painted white, it really has nothing to do with the water. Like some people say it purifies the water. That's just to reflect the sunlight. Makes the house 80% cooler. Rainwaters are very soft water. It lathers very easily, right? And all the roof material is all limestone. There's a lot of individual pieces. Cement together down on a framework. That's a club there. So if he made his left turn and kept going, we'll wind up right back up the dockyard. Just gotta keep going, follow the road and keep going. The other thing you want to be concerned about when you're crossing the street, you gotta remember now the traffic is coming from the other side, right? So you need to look the other way. This vehicle here is actually illegally parked. You can only park on a white line. The yellow line is no stopping or overtaking in case of emergency. Well, that's a $50 fine then. See, regardless where you move out on this alley, you're never more than like 5 or 10 minutes from the other side. I just come the other side.
Mm-hmm.
It's the other side of the water here. It's the north side. So people come over and say they're lost. I don't see how they can get lost over here. To me, they're just temporarily misplaced. They're not lost. Because either way you go, you can hit the water, you know. This is the harbor road. The bus does not run along the harbor road. It's too winding, too narrow. But it's nice scenic along the harbor road. you made a left down there, it's more residential. You just come to a dead end, you turn around and come back out. But in St. George now, they have very narrow and winding street. It's a little bit like Italy, it reminds you a little bit of Italy, you know. Right there where you be in a little hamlet in the city. You know, Mark Twain came through here. He says, "You take heaven and leave me in Bermuda." So the other Princess Hotel is off to the left. During the war days, the government had secret agents working at the basement of the hotel, steaming over people's mail, checking the contents, and sealing it back together again. But if you look straight across here, like 9 o'clock, you can see the top of the ship in red and blue straight through
Oh,
here.
yeah.
See it? So you're just on the other side, right?
Yeah.
And all the other cruise ships that come to Bermuda, they dock down along the main street. That church you see up there, that's the main cathedral. So wherever you have the capital, there has to be a cathedral. Bermuda has over 100 churches, and there's 20 odd different denominations. But you have to have a Protestant church in every parish because of British colony. There are no synagogues here, a lot of sinners, but no synagogues. Myself, I'm a Home Baptist. You familiar with Home Baptist? That's the guy stays and listens to the radio. If you don't like it, you turn it off. Catholic is a strong religion here. There are 7 Catholic churches here. The main Catholic church is downtown Hamilton, St. Teresa's Cathedral. And that square building you see up there, kind of grayish looking, but that's the area where the ferry will leave from. The ferry terminal's right along there, right? Right off the main street. But the bus depot will be up behind. I'll show you when I go downtown. This is the local ferries. When I said to you, make sure you get on the dockyard ferry. See, you don't want to wind up on this ferry here that just stays in this little circle here. You want to get on the ferry that's going to go to the dockyard, right? So when you go to the purchase, now you already hit the pass, right? You
Yes.
probably see it written in the dockyard ferry, or you just ask some questions, right? So the Downtown Princess and the Southampton Princess is now owned by Canadian Pacific. They bought them out a couple of years ago.
Yep.
If you look at this building on the right here, especially that's from Jersey, you go down around that Cape May area, and you see things look Victorian looking like this, right? On the Jersey Shore.
Yep.
You notice it doesn't have a white roof, it doesn't have a limestone roof, it has a shingle roof. So the water they get in this area is well water. Probably see people water like this guy's in there. So that water he would be using, that'd be their own personal water. It's not coming from a central area. It's like your country, they'll tell you not to wash the car. That's your water. You want to waste it, it's entirely up to you, right? It's coming right from your system. So if you look at the building up there, got a clock on in front of us. That is our Parliament building. That is the oldest Parliament outside the Commonwealth. Bermuda is the oldest English-speaking colony outside the Commonwealth. So that makes us the oldest colony. Now that Hong Kong was right back to China, we're the largest colony left. So although Great Britain is the mother country, it does not mean that people leaving Great Britain could reside over here. They have to go through immigration, just like you do. They can come on vacation, but they just cannot move over here. Up until 2 years ago, we Bermudians born over here, if we went to the UK, we only went on vacation. Now we've been pressuring the UK. Now we are allowed to go there, live there, and work there if we so wish. And school our children if we want. See, Bermuda's not a crown colony, it's just a colony. Crown colony, Great Britain gets involved in the day-to-day running of the country. The problem like we have today is we were still a British colony. If Great Britain was involved in a war for some reason, they could come over and conscript 18-year-olds, and there's nothing you can do about it. So a lot of people say, well, since you don't pay the taxes to Great Britain, and they're only protected, why don't they just give you independence? But I think Great Britain is looking at the airspace. You remember the problem in the Iraq War with the Turkish people saying to the American government, "Listen, you want to fly this space? This is what it's going to cost." It'd be the same thing over here. Yeah. They make a lot of money out of the airspace, right? And they have control of what aircraft fly in. So if you're coming from Europe over here, and Great Britain, you only got one choice. That's British Airways. And that's a 6.5-hour flight. Right to the left is a plant nursery where I'm going to buy seedlings. They also have seminars there once a month where you go there and they talk to you about different plants, how to take care of them.
It sounds like you've spent some time there with your knowledge of all the plants and the flowers.
Yeah, I've been there a few times, yeah. So on our right here, growing in what they call celosia. Some people call it a poker plant. So you're in this circle here, the traffic to your right, my right, and the right of me. When you're back home, the person that has the most nerve is the right of me.
You got that one right.
Facing south again. These large trees on the right are date palms, but because of the climate, they don't fruit that well. Just about anything will grow here, but it may not do as well as it should, like it's a native country, but it'll grow here. So off to the right, it is a banana plant growing on it. Remember, you see some bananas in there? Yeah, the banana plant fruits once in a lifetime. You notice I didn't call it a tree, it's a plant. Because it has shoots coming from the base and you can slip them and plant them somewhere else. But you also need a male tree nearby for pollination. And it grows upside down. So once it's had its fruit, if you don't cut it down or fall down, that's it, it's all over. If you want to use it as a vegetable, you want to get it as green as possible. It is very difficult to peel, So you just chop the two ends off, put in a pot of water and let it boil. And once it's fully cooked, the skin will just drop away. So you just dip it out of the pot, either dice it or mash it, and eat it as a vegetable. Bananas have a lot of potassium in them. Plantain is something you must cook. Then you got the fake banana, and you got the red banana, where the skin is red, but the inside like a regular banana. Now you're in cold snack. You see a lot of red bananas, like around Delicious Orchards. You familiar with that?
Big time.
Big time. I figured you would.
So
You're down
yeah.
117, you're near there.
Oh, yeah.
34 West, right? So that's bananas right there. And
You
this
spend
tree,
a lot of time in Jersey, or?
well, I used to work on a cruise ship one time ago in New York, and I used to just rent a car and drive on it.
Okay.
But this tree here on our right is pawpaw, but you call it papaya. Same
Okay.
thing. Now here on our right, this tree here off to the right, that's a sugar apple tree. Regular apples don't grow that well here, and sugar apples is just not coming season. Probably see a couple of small. It's almost the color of the tree. I'll have to go in and touch it so you see it going.
This guy's excellent.
He knows. He knows his
There's
stuff.
little stuff, yeah.
He knows a lot about Jersey.
Yeah, see, Sean? Yeah.
So sugar apple looks like an artichoke, and you don't peel it. It'll get about that size there, and you just break it in half and eat the interior. Regular apples don't do that well because you need frost. Mimi apples grow here. Mimi apple looks like a grapefruit, and that you would peel, right? So off to our right of this bushy stuff growing there, that's pampas grass. That grows in the country too, right? Off to the right there. But normally this would be one of the formal gardens, like I say, irrigating all this area. But you guys are from Canada. You could, Butcher Gardens is pretty.
Yeah.
You going to Butcher Gardens?
No, where's that?
In Canada?
Yeah, it was West.
West, yeah, right. Yeah, West Canada.
Vancouver.
Victoria,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Victoria.
Beautiful garden.
Yeah,
Probably
we've
some of the
been
prettiest
there
gardens in the world.
Forgot. Too much country to cover.
Yeah, right.
Did you say it was the prettiest? Victoria's the prettiest?
The gardens, they're the prettiest gardens. Victoria.
prettiest gardens,
Butcher
right.
Gardens, yeah.
Okay.
Beautiful, and it's private. It's not public. It's private.
So we'll be there in September.
In Butcher Gardens?
Well, Victoria and
Oh.
Vancouver.
Oh, well, you would, if you're good, you would be in that area. You got to see it. There's a rubber tree on our right here. And you got this banyan tree off to the right. A banyan tree roots from the top down, not from the bottom up. So those whips you see coming down, and that's the new root that's going to catch onto the soil and form another trunk.
It's like we saw in Jamaica.
Because you can take a ferry from Seattle and go across to Victoria.
Yeah, yeah. We're on a cruise. We're on a cruise from San Francisco to
Oh.
up to Alaska, but it's going to.
Oh, right. You go to Vancouver.
Well, it's leaving San Francisco, but stopping in Vancouver and Victoria and about five cities in Alaska, and then going back to San Francisco.
Right, right. There's a tree in front of it called raindrops. And the hospital is right there. We do not have socialized matters in Blue Cross or Red Cross. So if one is employed, it's mandatory that the employer insures the staff.
Or the insurance.
And that's Mexican Creek we're going there, Pink Flower. So, you know, if for some reason somebody's over on vacation and they had to use the hospital does not want to hear about their insurance. The hospital's going to bill them direct. They're not fighting their insurance, right? It's a very good hospital. The only thing we don't do heart transplant or bypass here. Those patients either go up to Johns Hopkins or Leahy Clinic in Boston. And the ones we cannot repair, we put them in a wooden box and it's known as a wooden tuxedo. So these buildings on the right here, again, you guys are from Canada, you have the exhibition at the CNE, and we have the exhibition here in April. And all these buildings will be the exhibit buildings. The only thing ours is on a smaller scale. Now this large tree in front of us is a mango tree. But there again, because the climate, they don't fruit that well, right? Unless we have a warm winter, we wouldn't see any fruit at all on it, right? Because they need tropical weather. This is Croton right on the right here. have international dog shows in these grounds, horse shows. If you look at this tree on the left there, the flowers that's coming out, it's called a bottle brush tree. It's like the brush you clean a baby's bottle like that. As it gets bigger, these are zinnias growing right there. Over to the right, you got the bird of paradise. So one can also walk these grounds on the from sunrise to sunset. And that's what they call a daylily, these argent flowers.
These paradise birds. I wish they grew up by us.
There's a bird of paradise right there.
Yeah, they're gorgeous.
Now this building up here on our left is the official residence of the premier. She does not live there. She just comes out here for public functions. A lot of times they will entertain, she will entertain seniors out there, right? The seniors are the only people who are getting some assistance from the government. They got a pension at age 65. It's like your Social Security. But in most cases, they cannot live on it. So the government's also saying to seniors, if they're living in their own home, assuming they have 2 or 3 houses, but the one they're living in, they no longer pay property taxes. Why there's a big tax rate they pass on, right? To whoever inherits the houses. Well, this house used to be private one time, and because the taxes got so high, they ended up selling it to the government. They done a survey here the other day, and they discovered that seniors are the largest carrier of AIDS. Did you know that? You tried to have rural AIDS, band AIDS, Lucas AIDS. So one could also come in here and have a picnic if they want. So if the ship wasn't going to Florida, it'd be on that water. You see how it's going that way. Florida's over 1,000 miles from here. This is what they call a sago palm. We use those leaves for floral arrangements or wreaths for burials. And on the right, this is what they call a canoe plant. Purple and green. So I'm going to go up to my right, but off to our left. This will be the main street. And you'll notice downtown, you don't see parking meters like you used to see. You don't see billboard signs, neon lights. So when we park the vehicle,